What exactly happened on the fateful night of 10th of May, the culminating day, the final day of Operation Sindoor 1.0? The latest revelations by Donald J. Trump that Pakistan has done nuclear testing now indicate a very startling new possibility, which I shall try and analyze in this broadcast. And if that is true, I think we've solved the riddle of what happened on 10th of May 2025. Now let's rewind a little. Operation Sindoor 2.0 was a clear vindication that in the third nuclear age, the prime lesson to emerge from this conflict was that in the third nuclear age, the terrific enhancement, the RMA in the efficacy, the revolution in military affairs in the efficacy of air defense led systems has reached such lethality and effectiveness that any moderate nuclear arsenal like that of Pakistan or North Korea can be neutered. Please understand this. The lethality of modern air defenses, layered air defenses, which are linked by artificial intelligence, the sensors and shooters are linked, has become so formidable that it could negate any moderate sized nuclear arsenal. That is why the Israelis went in for the Iron Dome. And we all know that in their wars with Iran, their clashes with Iran and the Houthis and the rest, 97 to 99% of the missiles and the drones they have been able to shoot down and destroy, create virtually a leak-proof umbrella. So that is the defensive component of the air defense system, which can checkmate a nuclear arsenal to the tune of 98 to 99%. 98 to 99%. India demonstrated the efficacy of its lethal air defense. The Navik system of satellites, based on the Navik system of satellites, based upon the Akash Tir, integrated command and control system for air defense, which has used artificial intelligence to link our sensors and shooters, to link our radars with the missiles, right, and have 4 layers of missiles. S-400 look up to 600, shoot to 400. Barak, medium range surface to air missiles, can shoot up to 80 kilometers. The Akash shoot up to 40 to 60 kilometers, and then the Spiders, and then the shoulder fired Eagles. And then we combine them with the legacy air defense guns, which were upgraded, linked to our radars. With this lethal combination, Pakistan fired, and I shall cover that later, 3 ballistic missiles, all 3 shot down. Pakistan launched 1,200 plus drones, 90% plus were shot down. 90, their carcasses were littered all over. Hardly any drone got through to inflict any kind of damage on the Indian airfields. So that clearly indicates that a modest nuclear arsenal can be neutered by air defenses to the extent of 98, 99%. You still have 1%. Can you take that chance? What can we do to stop that 1%? Offensive operation. This is what India indicated. So let's carefully go over what happened on 10th of May. 7th, we hit the terror infrastructure. Then Pakistan tried to hit back with drones, failed dismally. 9th, we carried out SEAD operations with our HOROPS and the rest, right, and our drones. And 10th, we hit back. Why did we hit back so hard? Because on 9th morning, GD Vance had spoken, Vice President GD Vance had spoken to our Prime Minister and informed him that Pakistan was going to do something drastic. He was more or less hinting that Pakistan was going to go nuclear, or was he trying to suggest that Pakistan would test nuclear weapons? This becomes very important in the light of the disclosures made by Donald J. Trump yesterday. It becomes extremely important. Was Pakistan going to go nuclear? Fat chance. Was it going to test nuclear weapons? Possibly. And with what Donald Trump has said, quite obviously they must have informed the Americans. You tell the Indians that if they don't stop bashing us, we will go in for nuclear testing as a threat, a clear, credible threat that look, we are worried enough to use nukes. So the first step is nuclear testing. Okay. To decide this, let's go over again the events of the 10th May night. We commenced with a series of attacks on the Pakistani air bases. 12 air bases, major air bases. India hit 11 of those major air bases. The most critical target hit was the Noor Khan deeply buried, hardened target of the command and control bunker of the Pakistani Air Force, which we learned was also the nuclear command post. And this nuclear command post was not just controlling the Pakistani nuclear arsenal, but also there were American nuclear warheads stored in Noor Khan, in Kirana and Chagai. It's quite apparent. Those were then subsequently post of Sindoor pulled out from there. They had taken charge of the Noor Khan base and evacuated some things, most probably their nukes which were stored in that area, right. This Noor Khan command post had been built by the General Electric Company of the United States of America at a cost of $550 billion. It had 5 meters of cement, concrete, steel on top. Even a direct nuclear hit could not have taken it out. But like I told you, it had an air conditioning vent which our satellites picked up, and through that vent we hit with our BrahMos cruise missile and devastated, destroyed this command post, all its computers, all its satellite communications. On the open sources intelligence, there was American radio chatter that the Falcon facility has been destroyed. Falcon facility. Look, the United States has similar 40 by 40 meter command posts in Israel to control the nukes they have stored there, and in Turkey to control the nukes they have stored there, right, just next to Russia. This was a similar command post. No wonder Donald Trump was so hopping mad. No wonder he slapped 50% sanctions on India. The rest of the tariff and trade story is bullshit. The real fact of the matter is we had almost had a deal through. But the fact is that they were very, very, very pissed off at the Noor Khan command and control post being hit. Not only the Noor Khan post, the drone command post at Murid was also destroyed. Right? The Pakistani saying, you don't have bunker buster bombs. Sir, we have the scalp, which was enough to penetrate the Murid command post. 3-meter hole it made in the roof of that bloody bunker, went and exploded inside. So India had destroyed the nuclear command and control post. Pakistan's nuclear command and control structure was destroyed, had gone up in smoke, and Pakistan was in complete panic. Right? Was in complete panic. Now, when the Noor Khan post was destroyed, all command and control function of the Pakistani Air Force was finito. They could not take off, they could not be controlled, directed by a central command post. The Pakistani Air Force had stopped rising for the fear of the S-400s, which had taken out an AWAC at 316 kilometers and 5 jet fighters of the F-16 JF-17 class. When they tried to attack our post with standoff, glide toss bombs or cruise missiles, they were shot down over Pakistani airspace, and thereafter the Pakistani Air Force had stopped flying. They were in panic on the night of 10th of May. What was their only? We had also, by the way, hit the 4 air bases at Sargodha, Rahim Yar Khan, Jacobabad and Rafiki. These were the places where their F-16, JF-17s, Mirages, which were modified for nuclear toss bombing, were deployed. We cratered the airfield at Sargodha with 2 80-foot craters. A precision job. It's an X-shaped airfield. We hit the damn center of the X. Both the runways rendered unusable. We hit Rahim Yar Khan. Till about a week or 10 days back, Rahim Yar Khan had still not been repaired. You forget about any planes taking off from there, right? We hit the hangars at Bolari. 1 AWAC destroyed, 4 F-16s destroyed. We hit the hangar at Jacobabad, and there were 12 F-16s under that hangar. It can hold maximum up to 12. So even if you claim 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think all would have been hit, if not totally destroyed, badly damaged, unfit for any further operational service, right? So frankly, about 8 to 12 of their aircraft were destroyed on the ground. Their aircraft, which are the critical aircraft for any nuclear delivery purposes. We did that. Pakistan Air Force can't take off. 10th of May, 11:30, 23:30 hours at night, that is the situation. There is total panic. Munir Khan rings up Shahbaz Sharif and says Noor Khan has been hit, and everybody can see those almost nuclear like clouds, emanating from the BrahMos missile hits. The mushroom cloud of the BrahMos missile hit is almost like a nuclear, and they were in panic whether India has used nukes. So what does Pakistan do? Pakistan fires off 3 missiles towards India. 1 Shaheen 2, which can carry a 800 kg warhead, and 2 Fateh 2's 400 kg warhead, right? Now, when these missiles are fired, they are picked up straight away by our S-400s, by our satellites up there, and we know that the Pakistani missiles are incoming. 2 of them are coming towards Delhi, 1 Shaheen, 1 Fateh. 1 Fateh 2 is going towards Amritsar, possibly Harmandir Sahib. Now, the key critical question before the Indian High Command, military command was, are these missiles armed with nuclear warheads or with conventional warheads? How do we find out? Frankly, you can find out only once they explode, and that would be too bloody late. India activated its air defenses, the S-400s, the Barak, MR, SAMs. All 3 bloody missiles were shot down. 100% kill rate, interception rate, with the combination of S-400s, with the combination of Baraks. We shot down all 3 incoming missiles. Their carcasses fell near Sirsa, right? But India was still not very sure. We had to keep in mind the threat conveyed by GD Vance, Vice President of the United States, that Pakistan could go nuclear. So as a very abundant precaution, India decided to hit Kirana. Of course, we denied it initially, but the simple fact is that Maxar satellite images have shown that hit on Kirana. Pakistani social media has shown adequate number of visuals of that hit on Kirana, with the locals saying Kirana has been hit, etc. Kirana was hit, and it was like a warning shot across the bow. There were then two possible scenarios that were being debated. at that time. One, that India had hit the electric motors that control the steel doorway, heavy steel doorway weighing many number of tons. You can only open it with the electric motors. We blasted that to seal all the bombs inside. Second theory was that no, India had fired two BrahMos missiles in tandem. The first one had gone through the steel door, the second one had gone in the wake of this the first missile and gone and exploded inside and caused a cook-off, radiological cook-off of a number of Pakistani nuclear warheads stored therein. Radioactivity had spread and therefore Pakistan just could not use those nukes. These were the two theories being going off. Why were they going off? There were definitely seismic events, anomalous seismic events that night, measuring from 4.1 on the Richter scale to about 5.1, 5.2 plus on the Richter scale, right? What were these events? Were these due to the radiological cook-offs? Today, we have one more explanation. This one provided by Donald J. Trump, Jr., President of the United States of America, who said Pakistan has been carrying out underground nuclear tests. So, what were these tests? You know, the seismic activity seems to indicate, yes, some tests have been carried out, but in all probability, the low level of the seismic activity, relatively low level of the seismic activity indicates that in all probability, the low level of the seismic activity indicates that these were subcritical diagnostic tests. Before Pakistan carried out the 1998 Chagai series of explosions, it had carried out a whole lot of these subcritical tests in the underground caves at Chagai and at Kirana. So, did Pakistan, as a total signal of panic on the night of 10th May, carry out a series of critical, subcritical explosions, right, in the underground facilities of Kirana and Chagai, the tunnels where they had been carrying them out earlier, as a last ditch warning to India, please stop your attack, otherwise we are starting nuclear testing and we could go nuclear, right. And quite obviously, just so that India would get the message, they had informed the United States, and that was the threat conveyed second hand by GD Vance that Pakistan is going to do something drastic, please stop it. Look, if Pakistan wants to carry out stupid subcritical tests, and today America wants to take advantage of that to start testing nuclear weapons once again and trash the CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. Please don't forget, 1990 Russia stopped nuclear testing, 1992 United States stopped nuclear testing, China's last nuclear test 1996. Thereafter, the only nuclear tests that have been conducted, India and Pakistan, May 1998, right. And then of course, the next test comes from North Korea 2013, right. All of these have been underground tests, and the CTBT was enacted, especially no overground test, so that the Earth's environment would not be contaminated by radioactive fallout. If Donald Trump wants to start again, that doesn't scare India. Pakistan's subcritical nuclear tests don't scare India. In fact, India would welcome it. We are not signatories of the NPT, nor is Pakistan. So, if Pakistan is allowed to carry out nuclear testing with the blessings of the United States of America, no less, right? If Pakistan is allowed to carry out nuclear testing, we would welcome it. In 1998, we wanted to test our 200 kiloton bomb, which was our hydrogen bomb. We could not for some reason do it. There was some technical thing, and we are very keen that if testing is resumed, India would be the first to want to test its hydrogen bomb. And that should put the fear of God not only in Pakistan, but again in the hearts of all those countries who hold any degree of animus against India. Simple. You want to test? Go ahead and test. Go ahead and do those stupid subcritical tests. They don't scare anyone. They don't scare anyone. A nuclear test is a desperate, defensive signal. मैं मारा गया. ठीक है? Please don't push me beyond this line, etc. That is what you are trying to say, right? But it doesn't carry credibility. You use one nuke, you will get back 10. Use one nuke and you will get back 10. How is it that Russia with 6,000 nuclear bombs, 3.5 years, almost 4 years, they have been fighting non-stop in Ukraine. They haven't used one. 3 months of Kargil conflict, not one was used by Pakistan or by anybody else. So, I mean, these are absolute gidad bhabki, as we say in the vernacular, and it scares no one. And if Pakistan now wants to get it released through the United States, we were going to do we had done subcritical nuclear tests. Well, you opened the way for India. You opened the way for India. If the United States follows suit, it starts open testing, it trashes the CTBT. We are not signatories of the NPT. And then if United States can test, if Pakistan can test, well, so can India, and we'd like to test our hydrogen bomb. We'd like to test our hydrogen bomb, which is long pending since 1998. So, the critical, the new theory that has emerged is that as a result of Donald Trump's revelations, can we conclude that on the 10th of May, the seismic activity that was observed, the anomalous seismic activity in the Kirana Hills, in the Chagai Hills, were these subcritical nuclear tests, diagnostic nuclear tests by Pakistan to try and scare India, duly conveyed to us by President Vance, and now Donald Trump trying to take advantage of those to say that we will also test. Please test. Please trash the CTBT. India has still got a pending hydrogen bomb nuclear test. We'll do that. Even that one test will be good enough. Good enough as a signal. Let us also not forget that one of the riddles of May 10, in fact May 11th, was why was a beach Cessna, Cessna King craft used to monitor radioactivity which belonged to the Americans flown over Chagai and Kirana on the morning of 10th May, right? Why was IL-76 Egyptian aircraft loaded with boron flown over this area and used to tamp any whatever they may have felt of any leakage of radioactive material? We were considering it so far. We were trying to analyze, and we had come to the conclusion possibly we had fired BrahMos missiles in tandem to cause radiological cook-offs. Was it these tests? Was it these signals being sent to India? Please stop, lay off, or it could go bad. Pakistan has already started nuclear testing, and it could then go on to actual use. My foot, actual use. Show us the guts and the gumption if you have. Pakistan was against the ropes in May 10th of May, it was against the ropes. Its nuclear bluff had been decisively called, and it can do all the subcritical nuclear testing that it wants. It can even carry out a full-fledged nuclear test that won't scare India. It will just give India a welcome opportunity to test its own hydrogen bomb. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.